I think about my childhood, there are a lot of memories of arguing and chaos and a lot of stress. I was the youngest of three daughters in a strong Christian family, but that doesn't mean we didn't have some pretty difficult times. Some of this was because of my mom's struggle with depression, anxiety, and mental illness, and some of it was just your typical family drama that got blown way out of proportion. My middle sister Susan and my mom had the hardest time seeing eye to eye, and unfortunately their differences didn't end when we became adults. It finally got to the point where all the arguing was just too overwhelming and never ending, and my sister felt like out of self-preservation she had to cut off communication with my parents. At this time, my sister's kids were between the ages of 10 and 15, and they had been pretty close to my parents. So I don't know if it was Susan's original intent, but the weeks turned into months and months into years. And now here we are 15 years later with my sister's family having had little to no contact with my parents. Just a couple months ago, Susan did agree to see my dad for a brief moment just before he passed away, but she wouldn't see my mom. She just feels like there's something she can't get past. About 6 years ago, Susan had a very traumatic time in her life when her 19-year-old son was involved in a serious boating accident that has left him severely mentally and physically disabled. Susan's his only caregiver because just 8 months after that accident, her husband died of cancer. Only a few days after his funeral, Susan's oldest son came to her and said he didn't agree with her allowing my younger nephew to continue to live, and unless she pulled the feeding tube, he didn't want anything to do with her. So not only has Susan not seen her oldest son in many years, she wasn't invited to his wedding, she's never met his wife, and she's never seen her only granddaughter. Susan's decision to not have any contact with my parents didn't just affect her relationship with them, but also her relationship with my oldest sister and myself. We've felt a real sense of loss and longing for a relationship with Susan over these years, but it's been very stressful trying to navigate a relationship between both Susan and my mom, and there have been time periods of months, sometimes almost a year, where we've had no communication with Susan. And we've always wanted a relationship with her, but it's just been so hard to have that happen with her not wanting to be around my parents or know what's going on in their lives. While the root of the conflict is between Susan and my mom, and there is fault on both sides, the effects of the estrangement have been very far-reaching in our family and damaging not just to the two of them, but to our whole family and really to our extended families. Because there have been numerous holidays and family weddings and births that we've all missed celebrating together because Susan couldn't be in the same room as my parents. And we'll never get back those lost moments. I have to confess that after this many years, things seem a little hopeless for there to be any resolution to this situation. But I don't know what the future holds, so we continue to pray that one day there will be healing and restoration in our family.